Hi friends, strangers, internet. My name is EmilyHanhan. I love colorful makeup and colorful language. And it's time for another New Makeup Nonsense Bingo. So New Makeup Nonsense Bingo is a fun game collaboration that I do about once a month with my dear friend Theresa. Theresa is dead if you happen to be living under a rock, which I feel like I say every time I do a video like this, but the thought stands. Theresa is like, if you don't know Theresa, she's an amazing, delightful, foul-mouthed little pumpkin. She comes up with the best little like cute food nicknames for people and subscribers and all of that. So I know pumpkin's one of her go-tos. I'm just gonna use that. Basically, what we do, this is one part new makeup releases, like will I buy it anti-haul, meets a game of bingo, meets a drinking game. So we have bingo cards that have a bunch of different like cliches and common things that come with makeup releases, and we, meaning Theresa and I, pick some of the new releases that are coming out, and we use a randomizer to kind of lead us through the new makeup releases. And as we go, we are hoping to get bingo, so we'll mark off spots on the card. We will drink as we get to mark off our card. We will also just drink, period. And the goal is to get bingo. Sometimes it's more challenging than other times. If you are a creator or if you just want to follow along at home, we have like the hashtags we use, we have the community playlist, and we have the bingo cards all linked in the description box. If you actually upload your own New Makeup Nonsense bingo, which you are all welcome to do, just DM me on like Twitter or Instagram and I can add it to the community playlist. I still haven't figured out how to actually make that as an open playlist. But anyway, so yeah, we have a bunch of releases, 42 to be exact. And I'm going to show them on the screen so you get a sense of the possibilities, but we never know what we'll talk about until the randomizer gives us our answers. If you're coming over here from Theresa, welcome. I'm happy to have you over here. I would love for you to go ahead and subscribe and follow along with my colorful shenanigans. And like I said, if you don't know who Theresa is, I will have her channel, her video linked in the description box, and you should definitely go watch her video if you have not yet. Once you're done with this one. First up, we have Rituel de Fille. So Rituel de Fille is releasing 2 new shades of their Ash and Ember eye soots. There's a mauve shade called Incantation and a vibrant crimson called Circle of Fire. This release does not interest me, but damn it, Rituel de Fille, you have infiltrated my community. And by my community, I just mean like the makeup people I tend to hang out with in Discord and Instagram and Twitter, like not necessarily my community. So to me, the eye soots, just by seeing the colors, seeing the packaging, seeing the format, the loose pigments, this is same shit, new packaging. Like, this doesn't interest me. But Rituel de Fille, you need to fucking bring back Chimera. Chimera is a cream highlighter that's basically a green highlighter, but it looks super magical. And it was supposedly extremely limited edition. Theresa has it. But me and probably a half dozen to a dozen people in the LGG Discord are like, bring it the fuck back. And then they have these jelly cream blushes that I don't know if are for me, but they look really pretty. But glasses and jelly blushes, anyway, the eye soots are boring. I'm not interested. But as a brand, fine, I am paying attention to you, Rituel de Fille. I'm watching you, kinda. Another brand that has infiltrated the community in a way that I would say I can't understand, but I can understand, and I will explain. Odins Eye. So Odins Eye Cosmetics is a Nordic, like Swedish brand, and they have released their Alva Natural Spirits collection. looks like there is a 4-pan highlighter palette, a 16-pan eyeshadow palette, and then 3 5-pan mini palettes. Okay, Odins Eye has done a ton of sponsored videos and sent a ton of PR to, I say, small to mid-range creators. They're probably not technically mid-range, but like, it's not just like somebody that has 5,000 subscribers. I would say it's like the maybe, well, like 8,000 to 20 to 30,000, somewhere in that range. Anyway, they've sent a bunch of PR out and they've been sponsoring videos left and right. They almost had me with the 16-pan palette because they were doing all these sneak peeks with like colors shown but blurred out, and then they put 2 pressed glitters in there, and I just and okay, they are a Swedish brand, but I don't see them sending PR to black creators. I don't see them doing that. And I have seen, I believe it was Karen Harris working with one of the palettes, the 16 pan, and struggling with like the depth of color in there. It's not quite there. They are one of the few, I would say one of the few indie brands with palettes that have shimmers in there that draw me in. So the first Alba palette is still kind of on my radar. I might want it. But these, with all of the browns, like every mini palette has browns. The split pan, larger pan, shimmer. It's not like, if I'm being honest, they're a brand that if they wanted to send me PR, I would be highly curious to try them out. I would be so curious. I would be so interested to play and see how the mattes perform, how the shimmers perform. I'm serious, Odins Eye. If you ever happen to see this video, I would love that. But I don't feel drawn in enough to buy it myself. Even though the people they've sponsored and the people they've sent PR to, there are so many people in that group that like I respect, and I respect their opinions on makeup. It's just not enough for me. Like, you're gonna do pressed glitter in a palette. You could have had me. You could have had my money. So we have 3 more of these mini palettes from Juvia's place. So we have the taupes, the mauves, and the sweet pinks. I think Juvia's originally had 4 mini palettes. They already had like a pinky toned one, maybe the berries, and then they had a violet and a nude and a chocolate. These are $14 for 6 pans. I don't think that's a bad price. Juvia's always does a sale. Never buy Juvia's full price, whether it's on Ulta or on Juvia's site. Always wait for a sale. And I want these 6-pan palettes, but I don't know. I'm not saying that I'm never going to buy Juvia's again, but I do kind of feel like I've just evolved past it, grown past the quality. Yeah, and I think for me, it's the like, I want the shimmers to be dimensional, duochromatic, or multichromatic, or I want like something to look like maybe not that I've never seen before, but that I've never seen in a palette before. And then and the mattes can coordinate or complement. But these, they're just not. I don't know why I'm making all these weird noises. It's just like, it's like I kind of want them, but I don't want them. I think that's what it is. The violet one, the berry one, the pink, the mauve ones, I want them, but they don't actually do anything for me. Now, if Juvia's releases a green or a yellow or a yellowy green palette, I'll be eating my words probably. But right now, it doesn't hit a spot on the bingo card, and I'm not interested. So we're gonna move on. Here we go. Here we fucking go. It's August. Guess what we're talking about in August? Oh yeah, we're talking about holiday releases. YSL has previewed or put out a sneak peek for their holiday collection. It's the Dress Me Wild holiday collection. There is a Couture Face and Eye palette. There is a Cushion Compact, Rouge Eclat Radiant, and I think Rouge Eclat, is that the, I thought that was the, I think that's the concealer pen brush thing. And then they have the Rouge Pure Couture lipstick and the Rouge Volupté Shine lipstick. I mean, like, you showed me animal print that's like slightly glittery and a little golden, and I'm like, okay, I see you. But then I actually see like the face and eye palette. Is it just that they put really softly pigmented tones in there that could be highlighters and blushes? I think I'm a little too confused for this to like be even slightly excited. I like the idea of a holiday aesthetic that's more about dressing up and less about Christmas or New Year's, or it's just generic enough that it kind of would work all year round, but it's red and gold, so it also feels like holiday. Yeah, that's a holiday theme release. Yeah, that's all I have for that. That's really it. It's a holiday theme release. Okay. Speaking of a release that I think they kind of like perfectly nailed the theme, the Alamar Cosmetics Spanglish collection, or Nueva Colección Spanglish. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. Spanglish, the Spanglish collection. So this looks like it's a palette, an 8-pan eyeshadow palette. I believe there's an eye primer and then some brushes. Now this is like a warm berry tone palette. There's like some peachy tones and some purpley pink tones, a little bit of brown in there. I have to say, it's not like an original color story, but I think it makes sense within their line because they've only released 2 other palettes before this and they were not in these colors. And like I said, I think that the theming is cute. I don't have any desire for this myself, but I know like the theming, the nostalgia of it has definitely tapped into, I think, the first generation Latinx kind of market out there, because I know from the Discord, even from talking to Alex, Sincerely Alex Makeup, feeling that like the drawing on the heartstrings, especially with for me, like seeing the like clunky plastic phone and all of that, I get it. And I think that as a whole like group, I think it makes sense. It's just not for me. It's not a color story that actually excites me. And I've tried their matte and shimmer formula and I find it's okay. Like one of the shimmers, I had the Reina de Caribe, the first palette, and like one shimmer in there like has my heart. The other ones are pretty but not anything super special to me, and kind of the same with the mattes. So it's not for me, but I get it. I understand it. And it's another one that's not on the bingo card. So let's just keep moving. Next up we have Elsie Cosmetics. Now Elsie is an influencer brand that I remember hearing about for their foundation. But they are releasing multi-dimensional blushes for $29 each, and then chubby sticks that look like they're chubby lip pencils. and they're $23 each. The blushes, they are in 2 different colorways. So there's like a more coral tone one called Coral Reef, and then Pink Lagoon. And then they've kind of set it up where you also have bundles where you can get like 2 lip pencils and a blush together. So they have 2 more pinky tone lip pencils with the pink blush, or 2 more peachy tone lip pencils with the peach blush. Okay, so the embossing on this, like, it looks like each little section is a different color. Those layouts to me always seem better in my head than actually when I'm using them. Now, I have no problem with like layering up my powder, like going in with a brush and like really swirling through to get enough powder on it to make it like an even mix of color. But I feel like for those that like a softer blush look, if you wanted to mix the colors, I think it just gets really challenging. So it just seems like it's like a very pretty idea, but not a very good actual concept in practice. And lip pencils, I'm also a little torn on. They feel a little dated. I'm not against them. I guess I haven't seen anybody come out with one where I feel like the formula is especially unique or new to the market. So I think it's always tricky when we're talking about like new brands, influencer brands, when they release something that's maybe new to their line but not really new to the market, and trying to figure out like, do I care? Do I actually care? Like, I'm kind of already lip penciled out, and I feel like the influencer or influencers that run Elsie probably maybe are also lip penciled out. I could totally be wrong. I don't know. Are you actually interested in lip pencils? I just think this is like pretty embossing basic product that's not really very usable. Our favorite problem child is back. So Colourpop is back completely on their bullshit with their release frequency. They have released the Sunflower collection that has a Little Ray of Sunshine palette, some cream gel liners, some Super Shock shadows, ultra glossy lips, a dry oil from Soul Body, a glow up oil from Fourth Ray Beauty. I've made it very clear how I'm just not really feeling it with Colourpop these days. I'm just not. And even though I'm a yellow lover, this doesn't do it for me. Because there's one pretty mustard right in the middle, and the rest just seem like tones that don't seem that special. And I am for damn sure not the target market for an all matte palette. I also don't understand their desire to release so many different gloss formulas and then go back to these old gloss formulas. Like, they're using the ultra glossy lip formula, but they have the tube, the like squeezy tube ones. Now they have the Luxe Gloss formula, but you're going back to this. And kind of the same with the Super Shocks. Like, you're going back to these potted Super Shocks that take up so much room, and they don't even like look that special or unique. But it's just another Colourpop release, and I just like, I can't even fake getting it up for Colourpop. I can't. They do nothing for the makeup dick. Like, they actually, just to totally inhabit the Theresa terminology, they like make it soft. They don't do anything. So, another brand that's always up to some shit, Urban Decay. I was just talking about, soft soft things. And now we have a release that includes some butt plug lip glosses. Is that what we're doing here? So the Urban Decay Stoned collection. So there is the Stoned Vibes highlighter. That's $36. Who the fuck do you think you are, Urban Decay? You are not Urban Decay from like 2000. Holographic sparkle, my ass. Infused with tourmaline. So then we have the butt plug lip glosses. They are $18 each with multi-dimensional shimmer and shine. Then there is the palette, the eyeshadow palette. It's $54 each, also infused with genuine tourmaline. And then there are the Stone Vibes Glide On eye pencils in shades like Tiger's Eye and Raw Energy. I mean, I like crystals. I buy a lot of jewelry and stuff from a friend that makes them. I love it. But this... So here's the decision I've already made. Here's my multi-step thought process. So the Stone Vibe palette is 12 shades. There are 4 mattes and 8 shimmers. The shimmers look like, they're a little confusing because they almost look like they could be pressed glitters, but they also almost look like the Huda Beauty marbleized shimmer effect that she does. If the Stone Vibe palette gets good reviews, this is something that Alex and I have already talked about as well. Gonna catch it on sale because Urban Decay always goes on sale, even if it gets good reviews. I'll have some pretty shimmers. I will repan them into single eyeshadow pans, and then I will use this eyeshadow palette that kind of does something for me in my like I like it, and I will turn it into an empty magnetic palette because Urban Decay packaging is pretty easy to do that. I've tested it out with the electric palette. It's pretty easy, and that would be a pretty fucking cool empty magnetic palette to do like bright, colorful color stories inside based on the crystals and shit on the outside. Now, if it gets a terrible review, I'm gonna shut off that part of my brain and move on. But I also have no interest in those glosses. I either have tones like that already, or I don't want tones like that. I've never seen an Urban Decay highlighter that actually looks glowy to me. And I don't want shimmer eye pencils. And I'm going to give that major copycat vibes because I do think those shimmers giving me the Huda Beauty New Nudes shimmer effect happening over there. Oh, we went from like mid-range to fancy. So next up we have the Chantecaille Fall Collection. It's an elephant inspired trio of safari shades, and okay. Looks like there's like 2 trios. There's an eye palette that's 3 colors, and then there are 3 of their lip veils with like specialized packaging. The eye colors don't look like anything special once they're swatched out. One of these days, this like glossy lip veil, they have like 2 or 3 formulas like this. One of these will probably come home to me one day when there's another sale. I resisted the last one, the birthday sale. I resisted Theresa and Alicia and Kelsey and like so many people that I follow who I love and whose opinion I trust, and it wasn't like affiliate codes, it was just named codes. So many people were giving recommendations, and I was like, I almost, and then I didn't, and then I almost, and then I didn't, and then the things I wanted sold out, and so I didn't. But one of these days I will probably fall prey to a glossy lipstick situation from Chantecaille. They are aesthetically, they do truly feel like one of those luxury brands that, like, I want to trust their quality, whereas so many other luxury brands I don't trust it, and I'm gonna blame that all on marketing. But that really is, in my opinion, a basic AF neutral palette. We are truly bouncing around today because next up we have Kylie Cosmetics with their summer collection that I'm not an Americana bitch. I've never been. I've always looked at the country that I live in, that I'm a citizen of, with side eyes on the light way to put it. It's just, no. So seeing a collection like this, that's very Americana, like sailor art. I know some people are like, it's just art. It's just red, white, and blue can like fuck off and die. I'm sure I'm on a list somewhere for saying that. Hi, agent. I'm sure you're listening. But no, for real. So this collection has a lip kit, of course, for $29. It has gloss for $16, lashes for $18, shadow stick duos. Seriously, are we still trying to do shadow sticks? Nobody wants them. $18. And then there is the palette for $44. And the palette truly looks like a peachy, bronzy palette with a pop of red, white, and blue. It's another 16 pan palette. I actually don't, if this did not have the red, white, and blue, if this did not, I was gonna say a lot of things like if it did not, I think theoretically the tones are actually pretty, but I don't want the red, white, and blue in there. And the artwork and everything is just, ooh, it's a no. And I know it has more than just the blue, it has the red, but that is a true, like, neutral with a pop of blue kind of palette. Oh, we're still doing this? Too Faced. We're still doing this? Too Faced, you're driving me to drink. Too Faced has released a pumpkin spice palette. Here's the thing about this fucking palette. It actually doesn't look terrible. But why did you have to release all the other palettes before this? Like, not that I trust marketing photos, but like, it doesn't look completely terrible. So why did you release all the other bland shit beforehand? Like, you're charging us $49 every holiday season, every fall season for boring shit, and you finally come around with something that theoretically might be interesting, and most people that would be interested perhaps in these colors have moved the fuck on because your formula, your color stories, all of that could not keep up with the pace. So it's just it's too little, too late. I'm also calling it a food theme release because pumpkin spice is definitely a food group for all of the fall basic bitches out there. And that's not any hate towards fall basic bitches. I'm just stating a fact. Speaking of food theme releases, Wet n Wild, they are staying in this 16 pan palette area that they did for their last Sanrio themed collection, but now they have a very brown looking palette called Coffee Cat and a kind of like deep neutral and pastel, I don't know, it's about this color story. And they're calling it Ice Cream Bee. Okay, so actually the Just Beautiful collection has the palette that's $9, the Coffee Cat Color Icon palette, that's $9. The glosses, there's 3 glosses, they're $3 each. And then the Ice Cream Bee collection has the Ice Cream Bee palette, and then 3 more pinky tone glosses, also $3 each. Looks like they're on Ulta Beauty. I don't know if they're an Ulta exclusive. The packaging is very cute. On the Bee theme collection, the glosses have kind of coordinating packaging. on the coffee collection, the glosses have coordinating packaging with the palette. The color story for the ice cream one is kind of curious. The neutral palette might be a great neutral palette. It might be a great like neutral palette for beginners. Wet n Wild is just another brand where I feel like, besides perhaps their lip products, I think I've kind of evolved past them. And even for me, these glosses, they just aren't doing anything for me. I think they did some cute theming. They did some cute, like, interesting colors for the one collection. But I don't know. I feel a disconnect with Wet n Wild that I didn't used to feel. But it kind of makes sense. I don't think I'm their target market anymore. Probably haven't been it for a long time. We're just going to give that yet another lip gloss, because that's what it is. Yet again, y'all are pushing me to drink. I wasn't expecting this, but maybe I should stop not expecting celebrity collabs or celebrity makeup brands. So JLo has like done a sneak peek and said Sunset Glow hashtag JLo Beauty coming soon. I know that she did a pretty big collection collab with Inglot a couple of years back now, a year ago, 2 years ago, who knows, time is a construct. I don't follow it. Okay, here's the thing. Wouldn't JLo Beauty just be Scott Barnes makeup? Because isn't JLo kind of his claim to fame? So I think that's why I'm confused. I don't know. But then like Trend Mood is saying she already has her brand JLo Beauty. So I don't know if that's like the brand that had her perfume, or I don't know what the fuck is going on. I understand why people look at JLo and think like that's some stunning makeup, because I do think that she has some nice makeup on, but it's more of like, oh, her makeup artist put some nice makeup on her face, and it's less like, oh, I want to know what JLo put on her face. Like, does that make sense, that difference? It's just I think that, I mean, I think there's this weird fine line, because like when I was saying what I just said, it's more of that, like, I don't necessarily think of JLo for her makeup. I would think of her makeup artist, but I'm probably just splitting hairs now, so I'm just gonna shut up and give it to a new influencer celeb brand. Here's another release that almost had me, and then I kind of snapped out of it. So Niki Tutorials has collaborated with Beauty Bay to create the Temple Tutorials palette. They're claiming it has a dark side and a bright side. I see it in the packaging. The packaging is, you did something, Niki. But I guess I don't see I don't see it. And the more I look at it, so just to cover details, it's $30. She's smart, so it opens up kind of like not like a book, but it's like, if this is the palette, then the two, like, there's covers like this, and it opens up like that, and on one side one of the mirrors is magnified and the other side is a normal mirror. That is smart. That's impressive. I'm not even kidding. Like, I wish more palettes would do that, as somebody that has very bad vision. But I don't know, it's just another rainbow palette, if I'm being honest. My like appreciation or attachment to Niki has kind of faded over the years, so I'm curious about this palette, but I'm not expecting much besides it just being like a solid rainbow-ish palette. Okay, so we have an indie release here. There's a brand called Unique Beauty. Now it's like unique, like UNIQUE, but there's an E at the very beginning of it. So unique, but not unique the MLM. Unique Beauty has released these 3 6-pan palettes that are like, they're calling them beauty trends mini palettes. So they have like a fashion little like book kind of aesthetic to them. There's a one that has kind of like a gold and a blue and some neutrally tones, maybe a deep green, or no, maybe that's black. And then there's like another one that has like a blue and a berry and a couple of pinks and like 2 kind of different neutral tones. And then there's one that has a green and a blue and a red and orange. Like, they all have kind of maybe not totally one of a kind shades, but the color stories do draw me in because they seem just a little bit different than what I'm seeing other people do in 6-pan palettes or even in bigger palettes. It looks like they are a UK brand because everything is in pounds. So each 6-pan palette is £13.99 or 14 pounds. And then the thing that I mean, I get why they're doing it, but the bundle is actually more expensive than buying the 3 separate because they have some special PR packaging. But that kind of makes it feel like a bundle deal that no one wants, because I would rather you have an option, maybe having a PR box option, but also having an option where it's like a little bit less, like even just like $1 or $2 less. That would be great. So I'm intrigued by it. I'm curious to see if any of the creators that I watch or that I can find reviews of, like if they buy this product or perhaps get it in PR, because the color stories are just like quirky enough that I am intrigued. Let's talk about another indie release, and unfortunately it's kind of a release that's a catfish. So DD Signature, I've never heard of them before, but they've released a Kiwi palette. It is it's in a collaboration with Danielle Nicole Tutorials. It's $27, so it's 14 shades. Technically not a bad price. I'm calling it a catfish because they're calling it kiwi, but it has a lot of blue and like mint turquoise shades. Like, there's not that many greens, yellows, like there's not that many shades that feel like a kiwi. I actually think it's a pretty cool color story. They need to change the packaging and the name, because I hate the round packaging with a passion. It looks very oversized. I don't think it looks like a terrible color story. It doesn't shout kiwi to me. I want more grainy greens and less bluey greens. So not gonna be buying that. But again, another indie brand where I'm like, okay, I'm watching. So Byredo, which is not a makeup line. It looks like they do like fashion and maybe perfume. They are entering the makeup market. The stuff is kind of trippy in a way that, like, if I had money to burn, I would buy, because they've done this packaging that like all looks kind of like slightly warped, slightly bent, curved is a better word for it. So they're releasing color sticks, 16 shades, universal and blendable. I don't trust that. It can be used in the eyes, lips, etc. Yeah, don't trust that. But okay. I mean, I see like blues and reds and purples and greens, so they're not being safe with that release. That's cool. They're releasing lipsticks in that, like, they're calling it horn shape, that like curved shape. They have a lip balm in a similar curved shape. They have a mascara with a fine head wand, so it can reach close to the lash line. I mean, you're kind of talking my name if it's like a little baby mascara wand, if I'm being honest. It's just weird enough that I'm like, are you releasing like art pieces or makeup or both? Michelle Wong, I will be looking forward to watching your channel for reviews. Because the prices are high. It's like 29 to 39 euros, I guess, depending on the product. So that's probably never coming home to me, but I guess I will wish for it. I don't know. And I know this isn't an actual collab, it's more of a release, but this is a release of somebody that's not known for makeup, and that could be fucking amazing, or it could be fucking terrible. This is an exciting one. Exciting for me. Colledo Makeup is releasing the Fresh Fantasy collection. So if y'all don't know, Kaleidos was the first ever brand that sent me PR. They sent me some over the summer. And this release, which includes 2 6-pan eyeshadow palettes, 3 new like mini face palettes that have like a highlight, a sculpt, and then a deeper sculpt, and a new gloss. They are sending them to me, which is exciting, which means I'll do a review. But just to say, I'm very partial to the futurism style palettes. They are magnetic, they are nice, they are sleek. I might as well grab one while I'm sitting here. Like compact 6 pans. I was saying I wanted more 6-pan palettes. I liked the palette I got in PR. I like the Make Your Escape palette. It is a pretty palette. But I'm kind of excited to see them dip back into this format. They're doing a purpley palette with a couple of like neutral cool tone shadows, and they're doing a more warm neutral palette. And then, like I said, they're doing these 3 little face palettes, but they're like the size of the blushes that they released. And it looks like there's like a deeper contour, and then a mid-range contour, and then an illuminating shade. It's interesting to see these brands coming back around to contour, like contour and bronze, like Midas and Neon, now Kaleidos. Just intriguing. So I would say, I mean, I don't need more purple eyeshadow like ever, but if I wasn't getting it, probably would have picked up the purple palette, probably. And then the duochromes so the purple palette is named, I'm not giving you any good information, I'm sorry. This is what happens as I drink. So the purple palette is Lunar Lavender. There are 4 mattes, 1 duochrome and 1 shimmer in that one. The neutral palette is Sashimi City, which I think is so cute. That also has 4 mattes, 1 multichrome and 1 duochrome. Interesting that they're calling something a multichrome. So I love the shimmers from Kaleido, so I would have loved to see even more shimmers in both of these palettes, but I'm intrigued to see them in person and play with them, and we shall see. And if you are interested, they are doing a pre-release on the 8th, and then they are doing the full release on the 15th. And if I remember correctly, these were $24 each, but they had like bundle deals for 2 or 3. So I don't see pricing yet, but I will be reviewing it, and I was excited to see that release. It doesn't really fit anywhere other than being a card, but that's life. This next release also kind of doesn't fit on my card anywhere, and I'm confused by it. And that is the Melt Digital Dust Duo Blushes. If I had not already picked Pretty Embossing basic product, I might have considered that for this release. So this is basically like duos, what looks like glowy blushes or a glowy blush, glowy highlighter. The reason why I'm confused is because the tones look a little weird, a little like cool toned, or I don't know. Now, if they are truly like glowy, pretty colors, and perhaps like the picture I'm looking at, the middle blush that looks like lighter on one side and more peachy on the other side, I could maybe see myself buying this. But right now, I don't really see a color duo that I'm like, I want it. You know, me and Melt, I kind of side eye, but I'm intrigued. And the embossing and the glow that's coming off from the pan itself. The marketing photos are hard to resist. So the last random pick that I got, and the one that will get me bingo, I am not going to go off on. Because guess what? This kind of happened to me last time, and I am not planning this. I swear. But I am getting bingo because of the JUVIAS Snorkelfish Sex Party palette. I'm not the ORGY. I'm sure I'm already demonetized. Whatever. Fuck him. And this is a Morphe palette. I will not take any back talk on that. This is a boring ass all matte Morphe palette. An oversized fucking Morphe palette. It is named ridiculously. If you didn't notice, the palest shade names are the most innocent, and the deepest shade names are the most sexual or naughty. He shows his racist ways every chance he can. If you don't believe me, that's fine. Bye. I don't care. I talked about this a lot, in multiple live streams. No. You don't need a $62 neutral matte palette. You need like 9 of these colors to get this gradient. You don't need 30. No. I've said this before. He used to seem creative. I didn't like him. I bought a liquid lipstick from him before, a couple years back. I haven't bought anything since. But I would see the releases and be like, like there's some creativity there. Alien, I actually kind of lusted over. Jawbreaker, I was like, that is a pretty rainbow palette. And then like Shame Dolphin and the pink palette that was named Purple. And the Ashy Mess. And now this hot garbage. I don't see it. Yet again, that piece of shit got me bingo. That's fine. I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that, because that's how the randomizer runs. On that note, if you enjoyed this video, if you're still here, still hanging on, I would love for you to give me a thumbs up, share it with your friends. Let me know if there was any releases I talked about that you're actually interested in. If there's one that like I roasted that you actually find interesting and appealing, let me know. Like, change my mind. I'm not a totally bitter bitch. I still like shopping for makeup. I'm just judgmental. If you've been here before, you know that. But now that I'm sufficiently intoxicated and I've talked about more makeup releases than I actually care to talk about, I'm gonna wrap this up. Thank you so much for spending a bit of your day with me. If you're over here from Theresa, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I would love for you to subscribe, follow along with these colorful shenanigans. And thank you again for just spending a bit of your day with me. I hope you can have a little bit of joy or pleasure in your day, because it's getting harder and harder with every day of 2020 that passes. So please take care, stay safe, wear your mask, drink some water, talk to a friend, talk to somebody you love, and I don't know, just do what you can. I'm trying not to get all weirdly emotional at the end of things. I'm not emotional, but getting all in my feelings. So just take care of yourself. And thank you again for spending a bit of your day with me. And I've probably said that 3 times now. That's okay. Hopefully I will see you again real soon. Bye, friends.